For our 9th Off the Richter, you are going to hear Bigfoot talk. I'm trying to say this with a straight face, but apparently Bigfoot can't speak English. Sasquatch, Ontario is known for making videos talking with Bigfoot. I'm not joking. Let's listen. Does he have indigestion?
No way. Mike.
Mike? Back? Go away. There are people out there that believe this shit.
No.
Apparently, Sasquatch Ontario has been watching Star Wars Attack of the Clones Episode 2 with Poggle the Lesser.
Hello, my friend.
Hello, my friend. If I had a Bigfoot talking to me in English, I wouldn't be saying, hello, my friend.
Hello, my friend.
Marble.
Brother. Yes.
This is almost as bad as Rick Dyer's phony Bigfoot body. Almost.
Flower.
Flower? Flower? Bigfoot just said flower. You know, this Mike Patterson person would really be screwed if Bigfoot were to say, Mike, suck my dick. Welcome to Off the Richter. Hey, my little Squatch monsters, it's time to shake up the Bigfoot community. This is Off the Richter. We're going to find out if Bigfoot's real by watching videos made by researchers, hoaxers, and attention whores like me. Oh my God, this is why scientists don't take us seriously. I've got news for you. There's no such thing as a Bigfoot expert. Say no to the woo-woo. I'm the Team Taser superstar. McFly here thinks he's a Bigfoot expert. You want your Bigfoot video to be seen? Now's your chance. To celebrate our 9th episode on Off the Richter, we finally shake things up for my co-star Rose Sahibi from Bigfoot Bounty, my husband Bart Cuttino, and my favorite surfing fisherman, Bobo Baggins. Now people keep asking me, Richter, when are you gonna do Bart? That's up to Kimmy. That's his wife. And unfortunately, Kimmy is the only thing standing between me and Bart. This is Kimmy, Bart's wife.
Don't be jealous. It happens. He likes my type.
Now this video has around 11,300 views, and Rose's Bigfoot Report channel has over 10,500 subscribers. Let's spank these little girls.
It's amazing how much artificial fiber's out in the woods.
It's crazy.
And I mean, the plant fiber out there is really hair-like too. They got...
Dude, I've looked at so much lichen that people said, look at this Bigfoot hair. I'm like, dude, it's a lichen.
You must get the worst shit sent to you.
Clip and Matt do. I don't get a whole lot. People aren't looking at me for scientific validation usually.
And what you are getting, you're not checking your email anyways.
Ooh. I look at it.
Okay, my Squatch monsters, let's look at this. Bart has gloves on. That is how you handle DNA evidence. However, Bart does not have a mask on, so he could potentially be accidentally sending his DNA particles onto whatever DNA he may have found, therefore polluting anything he may have discovered. Bet you didn't know that.
You look at the crazy ones too?
I just kind of look through it.
Look at that.
I don't mind reading it, I just don't type back. I just send a mental message back. Like,
Mind speak back to them?
Hey, mine speak back. If they don't get it, that's their problem.
You know, Bobo is the type of guy I would not want to piss off. If he says there are orbs and mind speak, then there are orbs and mind speak. If he says, bend over, dude, I'm doing what he says.
Obviously, they're not Jedi, so I don't have time for those people.
Yeah. The Force is strong with this one.
Thank you. It's like when I was training Yoda. I remember telling him that one time, Yoda? Da-da-da-da.
Really? Da-da-da-da. That's the best you could come up with right there?
Told him to keep it cool, Yoda.
And people give me shit for bringing my lightsaber out while looking for Bigfoot. You see, you internet trolls, there is a connection between Bigfoot and Star Wars. All of us 30-somethings grew up with Star Wars and Bigfoot. And Bobo saying he trained with Yoda? I would love to train with Bart Cuttino. Show him the Force.
I mean, you know, when you see that kind of rounded top, like where the middle toe is the highest one, like a bear, you're thinking, all right. But I see enough characteristics for the rest of that foot.
Is it me, or does Ro look like he could have fathered Madonna's daughter, Lourdes? Now, I know Ro very well, and I know he's been with many rocker chicks. Ro, did you sleep with Madonna? Well, guess what? We have the DNA results. Ro. You are the father! You are the father.
I think the big toe just didn't register, but the rest of the characteristics of that foot is a Sasquatch print, not a double-stepping bear.
I would love to see Bobo give us his opinion in a thong and in a sling. How much weight can a sling take? Guess we need to ask Matt Moneymaker. You know he has one. And I can almost guarantee Bobo has a line of women waiting for him outside his dressing door. And I can guarantee they're all bigger than he is.
What do you think, Bobo? Bobo thinks scary.
I'm Ken Gerhard, author of Monsters Are Real, and I have been interested in the subject of cryptozoology since the late 1970s.
Nothing is sexier than a Bigfooter and leather, and that takes us to Ken Gerhard. Now this video is by the 40 and Threat Filmworks, and they have over 354 subscribers, and Ken's video has over 530 views. Now let's see what this leather-wearing author and stud has to say.
And what I mean is small hairy men that are described as being 3 to 5 feet tall. Oftentimes they're described as upright walking apes.
So this leather stud is telling us that they're a Littlefoot too. Figures, we've got Bigfoot and now Littlefoot. Be a great retelling of Goldilocks. You know, that classic fable where some snotty little bitch breaks into a bear family's home and tries to find the just right porridge, bed. No? God, you Bigfooters need to read more. I bet you he saw a groundhog, you know, or a prairie dog, a squirrel. You know, look, it's a Bigfoot. Bitch, please.
Or a lot of times just hairy-looking little humans.
Kinda describing Tom Yamarone. You know, he's about this tall, carries a guitar, forgets his own lyrics.
They made maps. Sorry. Blew it. That's all right, man.
That's okay.
That's all right. Shot some film.
I love Tom, but he really is this tall. And he's always yammering. Tom Yamarone yammering. Oh my God. That's the name of his new blog. Tom Yamarone yammering. You're welcome, Tom.
And the one that I've researched is in Central America, and it's called the duende, which is Spanish for goblin. And again, what's really interesting about these proto-pygmies is that they are all located in subtropical climates around the world, or equatorial climates. In fact, if you research any of the proto-pygmy sightings, you'll find that they're almost all in warm jungle-type climates, which makes total sense from a zoological standpoint, since we know that smaller animals, because of their metabolism, can live in warm climates, unlike larger animals, you know, which tend to live in colder climates.
Now, why are all the hot guys married? Ken is married. Even Tom Yamarone is married. Bart Cuttino is married. Is Bobo married? Hi, Bobo. What you got? Want to go surfing, catch a wave, ride a big one?
My wife and I have been to Belize and Guatemala, and we're doing some research there and have found some tracks, small human-like tracks in some remote areas.
Ken, darling, I've lived in Hawaii, and I can assure you, there's no Bigfoots, Littlefoots, Duendes, Sesamites, or Tom Yamarones. But there is something in Hawaii that's rather big. Samoans. They're huge. They're not Bigfoot. But I do realize your wife would love to do some field research out there in Maui. So go take her to Maui and look for the elusive Samoan, the Sasquatch of the Hawaiian Islands.
And we've also collected many good stories and accounts of the Duendes.
Sorry, I have totally lost track of what Lyle Blackburn here is saying. Oops, I meant Ken. Sorry, it's the hat. Copycat.
And also a large Bigfoot-sized creature called the Sisamite, which has been written about extensively. So a lot of people have asked me, why are you doing research down in Central America? And I just answer, because no one else is right now.
So we have Duendes and Sesamites to add to our vernacular. That's a big word for the Bigfoot community. Betcha Jeff Kelly right now is looking that word up right this second. Sesamites. Sounds perverted.
Oh, God. Bad.
One day we were lucky enough to come upon some small human-like tracks. There wasn't a lot of definition in the tracks. You couldn't see toes or anything, but you could definitely see the shape of a humanoid footprint. Some of them you could kind of see some toes. So we cast those, and I didn't have a lot of materials on me.
Looks like monkeys to me. Take this man to the zoo. Show him the monkey cage.
Decided to write my own book, and again, this was a suggestion from Loren Coleman. You know, he was saying, well, if you're out there and you're trying to become a cryptozoologist or monster hunter or whatever, just write a book.
Notice that when he mentions Loren Coleman's name, the video ends.
To become a cryptozoologist or monster hunter or whatever, just write a book.
Like Men in Black, Conspiracy, the Sesamite Illuminati. Keep doing your work, Ken. Take your wife to Hawaii. She would love that. M.K. Davis. Now in Bigfooting, Marlin's name is as infamous as Honey Boo Boo, and he keeps coming back like herpes. Now his YouTube channel has around 4,679 subscribers, and he desperately needs a subscription to Playboy. Watch and see, my Squatch monsters. Watch and see.
Hello, my name is M.K. Davis. I've spent a lot of my time in the past researching iconic films. One of my favorite films that I've spent a great deal of time on is the famous Patterson Sasquatch film that was taken in Northern California in 1967. And what I wanted to do today very briefly is to show you why I think that it's not a hoaxed film, and that perhaps this is something that should be taken very seriously. Now, I've got an example frame here, and it's one of my favorite frames, and one of the reasons why it's my favorite frame is because she's looking back directly at the camera, and it shows a great deal of the face, a lot of the skin, and a lot of the hair, and the frontal area. And when I say she, I mean in reference to that she seems to have or possess female anatomy right there. And so that's why I was referring to her as a she.
Marlin. Those things on that Bigfoot are called breasts, cleavage, chesticles. I'm ashamed of you. As a gay man, I'm educating you on what breasts are. Cows have tits. Patty has breasts. You weren't breastfed as a child, were you?
There's a lot of tonal differences between the hair and the skin. See, there's quite a bit of skin, open skin showing right here, up around the armpit area. But then there's some hair coverage too that's pretty heavy on the arm. And then over the breast, there's kind of a mix. What I want to do is, make the skin tones, or the tones that contain the information of the skin.
Marlin, if you stare into the looking glass a little too long, you begin to see productions of your own mind. Marlin, remember what I said about the looking glass? You are now judging things based on a very old film that wasn't focused sharply and wasn't recorded in high definition like we have today. Looking glass. Looking glass. You are looking into the looking glass and creating figments of your own imagination. Yeah, maybe that is skin, or maybe she has fine velvet thin hair beneath her breasts. You know, those things that you were trying to describe.
What I'm going to do first is to make a reference dot on the area that I'm interested in. And I'll show you why you need that reference dot. Then I'll take it and I'll put the photograph in a digital prism and I'll split it into its component colors.
You can't make this shit up.
So this is what I want to work with right here. Now I'm going to just throw a digital lasso over this area right here. Okay, and then I'm going to cut it out, and then I'm going to go back to the original photograph, and I'm going to paste it back as an object. So here it is way up here in the top, and I'll bring it back down and just kind of get it in the ballpark close.
There's something wrong here. He's playing with her breasts. Marlon. Marlon. Playboy. The answer is Playboy. And if you're brave, hustler. Girl. Oh, thank God I'm gay.
Okay, now what I want to do now is to go to a transparency. I want to find those reference dots. So I'm going to go to about 70% transparency. Okay, and then I'm going to enlarge until I can find those dots. You see they're not even visible right there. But as we blow it up, you begin to see the dot. Oh, look at that right there, and I had it pretty close. What I'm going to do is, you'll see the two, see the one going around the other, and I'm going to bring them right together. There we go. Now this is now, they're both exactly aligned, so I have the breast area that contains mostly skin information. Now it's overlying the other information.
Oh, he finally said breast. Proud of you, Marlon.
But it's at a 70% transparency, and that's a little too much, so I'm going to back it back down to about 30. And then I'm going to back up.
Guys, there's something wrong with this Marlon guy. I mean, he's zooming in on Bigfoot's nipple. Let me repeat that. MK Davis is zooming in on Bigfoot's nipple. This is like borderline bestiality, kind of like weird shit.
And I'm going to boost the contrast a little bit, add a little color, and then I'm going to merge them. And then I'm going to continue to boost the contrast. Let me throw one more little lasso around here.
On behalf of all female Sasquatches that are out there that may or may not be human in relation with mitochondrial DNA, who knows, I must apologize for what Marlon K. Davis is doing with Patty. The looking glass, you're zooming in on something and playing with the colors and cyan and magenta and playing in Photoshop. MK Davis, quit jerking off to the Patterson-Gimlin film and read a Bigfoot book instead. How about Dr. John Bindernagel's North America's Great Ape, the Sasquatch? I know, you want to jerk off, fine. Turn to page 36. There's your centerfold. Have at it, big boy.
I took all the frames that show the breast area and I animated them, and I'll add them to the video in the back.
He's going to show us Patty's breasts animated?
And they show these particular female anatomy swinging naturally as if they were heavy, or at least the density of water. So I'm convinced from this alone, but there's a lot of other stuff too, that what we're looking at here is simply not a hoax.
Based on Marlon's sexual pareidolia fascination, the Patterson-Gimlin film is real. Looking glass. Isn't anything sacred? Okay, my Squatch monsters, let's continue this Bigfoot embarrassment. We're gonna watch a second MK Davis video. Let's see what he zooms in on now. This is comedy gold.
Hello, I'm MK Davis. Now this is the area in question right here with this circle around it. You know, there seems to be something going on there. Now that's a filtered image right here where the contrast is tremendously boosted. And now you get a pretty good look at it, you know, up close. And it would be this area right here. That would be the rear end. Cheek, rear end, then you got something specifically going on there.
He's now zooming in on Patty's ass. We've looked at her breasts, and now in this video we're zooming in on Bigfoot's butt.
Now understand, I'm not a medical person, but I know some things, and this smacks of a person who's got some real problems.
You don't know shit. You're zooming in on an old grainy film, defocused, and implying there's something in Bigfoot's ass crack.
And when I say real problems, I mean anything that would produce duress enough to cause a hemorrhoid to pop out. And that's what I personally think that it is.
That's a hemorrhoid? That's a hemorrhoid? What, for a fucking dinosaur? A hemorrhoid is a collection of dilated blood vessels that extend about 2 inches from the rectum. That's not a fucking hemorrhoid. What the fuck?
And the reason why I think that's what it is because I sent this off to a registered nurse, Bobby Short, who took it to a hospital, took it to a gynecologist that she knew, and he looked at it and he says he thought that it was real.
Okay, so let me get this. You sent this to the late Bobby Short, who then shared this with her gynecologist. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, in case you don't know, I am a fucking raging homosexual, and I know what an anus looks like. Boink. I might have had a hemorrhoid or two in my life. I don't know. I don't take a magnifying glass. Maybe I should have shown MK Davis my ass. Is that a hemorrhoid? Because that is not a hemorrhoid. That is a shadow anomaly on an old grainy film that's defocused and shaking. That is not a hemorrhoid. MK Davis is now arguing and zooming in on the ass crack of Bigfoot. Let me say that again. MK fucking Davis is zooming in on the ass crack of fucking Bigfoot. This is why scientists think we're retarded. This is why Bigfoot will never be proven to be real, because of people like you perpetuating this fucking nonsense. This is comedy gold. We're the biggest joke to the scientific community. Evidence A. Evidence B. What the fuck are you people doing?
The bigger picture is that a suit is not likely going to have this, and that the film is just full of things like this.
Okay, if let's just say, for the sake of argument, that is a Bigfoot anal problem, I don't think these species are busy fisting each other, because in order for that to be a true anal problem, like a big prolapsed anus, Bigfoot would have to be being fucking fisted, just like MK Davis is doing to us, the Bigfoot community.
You're putting all things together. I'd say that there was a likelihood, at least, that they caught this particular individual at a really bad time.
This has to be the worst thing I have ever seen in Bigfooting. And I haven't even touched on the whole massacre theory that this Marlon Keith Davis has allegedly implied in his previous YouTube videos. This is shameful. It's disrespectful. Disrespectful on the grounds that Marlon is not a scientist. Zooming in on Bigfoot's genitalia? That's perverted, man. That's not scientific. That's some sick shit. This is why science thinks we're all a bunch of fucktards. Bigfoot will never be proven real as long as idiots like MK Davis keep making these heinous Bigfoot videos. Oh.
I thank you for your time.
And now it's time for Richter's Hate Mail of the Week. Let's see what Bigfoot's anus has sent us. Ooh. Okay, this message comes from somebody by the name of Mark Divjak, and he says, "It's rest stop Richter. Way too gay, dude. Why didn't you and Spacey Brown, the alligator ass clown, just elope after that cheesy reality show?" If you want to talk about hoaxers, your first guest lineup should be Sean the Asian Pawn and Matt, there's nothing on the hill, for Faker, the good foot doctor and paid scientist who cares anymore what his name is. Don't forget Ohio Bill Cockblocker Brock. I could do this for hours. See ya, you little squirt snicker. There's way too many drugs in Bigfooting. On this Off the Richter, we began with Sasquatch, Ontario, showing us that Bigfoot can talk in English.
No way. Word? White.
And then we had the big boys of Bigfooting, Bobo and Bart Cuttino and Rose Sahibi. Wow, that was a hot one. Followed by Mr. Leather Stud, author Ken Gerhard, talking about Littlefoots, Duendes, Sesamites, and then we had MK Davis giving us an education on Bigfoot bestiality.
Oh, look at that right there.
Not joking.
There, and I had it pretty close.
It was kind of weird.
Cheek, rear end, then you got something specifically going on there.
Well, that's it for this Off the Richter. Be sure to subscribe, give me a thumbs up, and tell me down below in the comment section which one of these Bigfoot personalities deserves to be nominated for my Richters Hall of Shame, and that will be at the end of this season. Hey guys, we've got one more episode, episode 10, and then it's Richters Hall of Shame. Don't hate, participate. See you next week.